of Interest Commission to make arrangements to meet with him on my return to further discuss this asset that is already listed publicly on my disclosure statement. I met with the Conflict of Interest Commissioner this past Friday. I am confident that I have disclosed and provided all the information necessary. I have asked the Commissioner for a written response to confirm the discussion we had in our meeting, and I look forward to receiving this confirmation. My office did receive a letter from Ms. Conway last week addressed to myself that contained concerns that I felt I needed to follow up on. I understand from discussing the contents of that letter with the manager that they did contact Ms. Harper on several occasions to pick up her damage deposit, and she was not able to do so. I further understand that it has since been e-transferred to her. I'm happy to answer any additional questions you might have.
Were you aware that there was a separate rate being charged at your establishment for clients that were for social services clients?
I am not involved in day-to-day operations, so I am not aware of that.
Decision to charge a rate higher for social service clients than for other clients?
My understanding is most of the very few hotels are willing to take high-risk clients, and the other motels, I believe it is maybe 3 or 4, that they do take high-risk clients, and in order to recoup because social services does not pay damage deposit. And usually the past experience of these motels has been that there is a good damage to the motel and to the property. So in order to recoup that cost, to do the renovations and make the room rentable again, the rate is higher.
So how are you aware of the policy, or not aware of the policy at your establishment, but are aware of the overall policy of basically charging in this particular way to recoup possible damage deposits? I don't really understand.
Like I said, I've been the owner of Sunrise Motel since 2001. Before that, I had several other hotel and motel properties. So I am very well aware of our hospitality industry, how they operate.
Okay, so you would be aware from your past experiences that of this policy that you outlined, that consistently, I assume, the hotels that you've experienced, or even ones that you've been involved in, have charged more for social service clients because of this policy. You were aware of that, right?
I do not recall, because that policy, like there are different rates. Like if you have different companies and they give you bigger business, there are sometimes the rates are discounted rates as well. So I mean, motel rates always fluctuates, depending on demand and supply.
But you are fully aware of the policy that generally charge social service clients more because of the reasons that you cited, because of the damage deposit concerns and everything like that. That was well within your will of understanding.
Well, usually I learned a lot in that past week. In my absence, I've been watching media, I've been watching the news, and from that I learned quite a bit that this is they have been charging higher rates to the social services clients.
The policy is fair. Like in many ways, it's highly advantageous to the hotel industries because, in essence, you're getting more for rooms that aren't necessarily damaged, but they're being charged more. It doesn't seem fair to the taxpayers people are concerned about. Do you think it's a fair policy?
I can totally appreciate what you are saying, but at the same time, I'm not in the position to speak on behalf of the ministry and the minister.
Position to speak on your own hotels, and you seem to be aware that that policy was in place and applied to your hotels. So I guess I'm just asking you, do you think it's fair? You think that by charging that higher rate that probably wasn't returned at any point in time to social service clients, because it's not a damage deposit, it's just a higher rate. Do you think that was fair?
Well, I mean, charging $50 or $60 more than social services has to worry about repairing the room or put a cost from taxpayer dollars for sometimes the damage is $700, $800. Sometimes the TVs are walked away. So many things happen. So in order to control and to run the business in a business manner, that is the choice that managers have made. But again, it's up to the managers how they run. That's why they are hired. They make the policies. During these many years I've been in the hotel industry, different managers have come and gone, and they run the motel the way they think it is appropriate.
You're accepting it for the way your managers run your hotel, right?
Yeah, I just found out about this, yes.
So you have no problem with the policy then? For the reasons you described, I get it. You basically have said that, yeah, if there's damages to it, this is what we... So what I'm getting at is you at some point must have approved this policy because you approved the managers.
No, I don't approve no policies. I am not involved in day-to-day operations.
Well, you hired managers that approved the policy, right?
Yeah, no, I do not hire managers either.
Okay. The managers work for you?
Yes.
Okay, then we hire them, right? So if this is their policy, this is something that you approve of. Which way I'm getting at? Like, I mean, do you just approve the policy or not? Now, you're citing reasons why. It makes sense, and I get that. It makes sense because you said there's damages, etc., and you got to run a business. So, so in that sense, I assume that you approve the policy.
Well, I do not approve or disapprove. What I think is it's better to pay $50, $60 extra than paying $200 extra. So by this policy, social services are paying less money at the end.
How are they paying less money at the end?
Because they are not paying $200 damage deposit.
Yeah, except in the case of Evelyn, she was paying more money.
Pardon me?
But in the case of Evelyn, with the extra days she stayed, she paid about $700 more by not putting down a $200 damage deposit while she was under the social services auspices.
Yeah, I just answered that question to you, Murray. That extra rent compensates for the $200 damage deposit.
It's way more than $200 at times. Your hotel, yeah, I believe the number was $172,000 in 2022. Do you know how many clients, by the way, that was?
I have to look into it. I have heard that on media. Minister has said that $172,000, but I have no way of confirming that.
You have no idea how many clients that might have entailed and what rate they were being charged?
No.
Do you have any other hotels right now in the city or recent?
No, I do not have any other hotels in the city. I have interest in a motel and a hotel in Medicine Hat, Alberta.
Have you ever gone to the government and tried to collect for damages, even though there was no damage deposit? Let's say somebody trashed your room as your manager and said, you need to pay for this.
I am not aware of that if any of my managers might have done that.
Just curious.
Yes.
Do you know why Miss Harper's receipts were in California?
No.
Okay. So, have you spoken with the manager at all about this incident? And what has she...
She told me that she has been in contact with Evelyn Harper, and she has not been able to go there and pick up her damage deposit.
But she now has the damage deposit?
Yes, it has been e-transferred to her, as far as I understand.
Just back to Murray's point, because one damage deposit of $200 is a lot less money than she probably paid. The social services actually probably paid $600 in extra charges instead of a $200 damage deposit. So it was more expensive the way social services did it.
That's a good question, but again, I am not involved day-to-day policies, so I won't be able to answer that.
Do you break even on this policy or make a little bit of money, or do damages exceed the 50% premium that is charged on a hotel room? Because it's pretty expensive to fix a place if anything is smashed.
I wish I can answer that question to you, Marie. Again, I am not involved in the running of the motel, so I will, maybe not. I cannot confirm that.
So how you've like handed it off to a management group, or like how does it?
Basically, they are live-in managers. It's usually a
But
couple.
I mean, what's your legal involvement? You own the place, but do they report to you? Do they, show you the books every month, or do you put it in a trust that somebody else is sort of?
Actually, my wife, she goes, collects the paperwork, takes it to the accountant, deposit the money in the account.
Time for a couple last questions.
What did the conflict of interest commissioner tell you? I know you're going to share that, but what can you tell us about what was communicated to you about your involvement in Motel and your role as an MLA?
Well, I have requested him, to give me something in writing, which I am eagerly waiting to see.
Has the auditor reached out to you?
No, nobody has reached out to me.
Okay. What do you think of the auditor investigating the practice of how social services procures in these hotels?
I think that's auditor's job. Everything which seems wrong, and if it involves public dollars, yes, auditor's job is, I think she should be investigating.
Do you think social services should be collecting separate damage deposits? Because social services is a group that hotels can collect from. So if they're damages and damage deposits, it would seem logical they could. Or do you think that there just should be a higher fee for their clients?
Again, I cannot speak on behalf of the social services minister or the ministry. Yeah. As a hotel owner, I mean, it's a hotel manager has a choice. And the client who walks into the hotel lobby, he has a choice whether to stay or not to stay. The hotel manager can refuse anyone to stay at their property. So this is the matter of the choice in the business.
Look at the client and say, well, if the social service client, we think they should be charging this.
No, they don't see that. What I believe is, this is my understanding, that just like if you need a hotel room, you will call a hotel, see the availability. If the room is available, and you will ask how much, and you say, okay, I'm willing to take the room, you will come and stay at the hotel.
Have you asked the manager how the manager came to terms with that rate? Like how the rate charged to Evelyn after it was increased? Was there any conversation?
Well, usually the hotels in the city, they try to keep a rate parity, right? So it's a competitive business. So I believe that that's the same way hotels are running right now, the way it used to run 25 years ago.
Why did the rate increase so suddenly? Like it was $168 a night, and then it was $200 a night a few days later.
Well, that's the rate, I guess, the hotels in Regina, they charge to social services client.